Okay, let me ask you this. What if I told you that some of the most valuable treasures in Britain aren't buried in vaults or museums, but are actually washing up on the beach, only to be sold to the highest bidder overseas? Yeah, I'm talking about fossils. Not just any fossils, but 190-million-year-old Jurassic relics that are sparking a modern gold rush along Dorset's coastline. And honestly, this story is way more fascinating and controversial than you'd ever expect. So here's the deal: fossil hunting in Dorset isn't just a quirky hobby anymore. It's a full-blown industry. People are swarming the beaches with hammers and brushes, not for seashells or driftwood, but for ammonites, belemnites, and ancient marine reptiles that could fetch thousands online. But why now? Why Dorset? And why are these rocks suddenly more valuable than a luxury car? Let's unpack this. First off, the Jurassic Coast is basically a time capsule. Every layer of cliff or pebble holds secrets from a world that existed long before humans even existed. But here's the twist: the same erosion that slowly reveals these fossils is also destroying them. So if you don't rescue them, they'll just vanish into the sea forever. That's the logic fossil hunters like Martin Curtis use. And honestly, I get it. If you find something that's been hidden for 190 million years, wouldn't you want to save it? But then again, who really owns these pieces of history? That's where things get messy. Because here's the kicker: the UK can't afford to keep its own treasures. The article mentions Chris Moore's collection, a treasure trove of 318 fossils, some possibly unknown species, sold to Abu Dhabi for an 8-figure sum. Let me repeat: an entire piece of Britain's natural heritage, gone. Poof. To the Gulf. Now, I'm not here to bash Moore. He spent his life collecting this stuff, and he deserves to profit, right? But what does it say about a system where a country can't fund its own museums but wealthy or rich nations can? It's not just about fossils anymore. It's about priorities. And yeah, that stings a little. Then there's the social media effect. TikTok and Instagram have turned fossil hunting into a viral sensation. Suddenly, every weekend warrior with a rock hammer thinks they're Indiana Jones. Curtis, the guy in the article, admits it's changed everything. More people equals more competition equals faster depletion of the very fossils they're trying to find. It's a paradox. The more popular it gets, the harder it is to find anything. And if you're a pro fossil hunter, your job just got tougher. You're not just racing against the tide, you're racing against a swarm of influencers trying to monetize their discovery videos. But let's zoom out for a second. What's really going on here? Fossils are a window into Earth's past, but they've become commodities. Mary Anning, the legendary 19th-century fossil hunter who discovered the first plesiosaur, is now a t-shirt icon in Lyme Regis. Her legacy? Commercialized. And while the article paints fossil hunters as noble preservers of history, I can't ignore the greed angle. When a single ammonite can pay your mortgage, how many people are really doing this for science? Or is it just capitalism's latest frontier? Pun intended. And here's the philosophical twist: Curtis shrugs off Moore's sale to Abu Dhabi, saying, "At least someone's enjoying it." But isn't that the problem? History shouldn't be a luxury good. If these fossils are part of a shared global story, shouldn't they stay accessible to the public? Or is that idealistic? After all, Moore's fossils are now in a museum, they're not in a billionaire's basement. But what about the next collection? Or the one after that? Where's the line between preservation and profiteering? Look, I'm not saying fossil hunters are villains. They're just people trying to survive, right? But this whole saga exposes a deeper issue: we are treating Earth's ancient history like a pawn shop. And while social media makes it look glamorous, the reality is far more complex. So next time you see a viral fossil find, ask yourself, who benefits? The scientist? The tourist? Or the collector who flips it for cash? The answer might surprise you. And hey, maybe that's the real treasure here. Questions that make us rethink what we value, and why.